I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, BAHSHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHSHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great wisdom for teaching me this truth and sincerity. Salutation to the hopeful elect that spring out the four corners of the earth. All right, Shalom, Akim, Akwaf. The title of this lesson will be My Thoughts through the Spirit on the Draconian Laws Being Passed. All right, so my thoughts on the recent draconian laws being passed. Right, so there's a lot of you know recent laws that are being passed in different states that's protecting the happy community, and you have some laws that are protecting pedos. You have some laws that are like there's different things that are happening in Babylon the Great. Um, right, and we this is a thing that going to affect the elect. They're going to affect all these laws. The laws that are being passed, are going to affect the elect, and they're going to affect the affect the one that follow YAHAWASHI, right? These, and when I get going to definition of draconian, right, which means excessively harsh and severe, right? Etymology. So the etymology in Webster, which means law relating or characteristic of Draco, cruel, severe, right? So ultimately, these laws being passed unusual, severe, or cruel, Slovakia. So ultimately, you know, laws that are being passed is ultimately going to lead to the martial law being declared, right? The ultimately the big one, martial law, which is going to be the big draconian law being passed. You know. So I have here some articles I'm going to get into and some scriptures that I'm going to get into. But first, I want to get Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time." So, right, so the devil, right, which is talking about right, so-called white men, he come down, having great wrath, so he gonna start pushing more draconian laws that going to affect, the one believers, the one third, so Yahweh Shah, right, and this is why you have to. We're a watchman, right? We have to watch and pray, right? This is why we are watchmen of the truth, and we have to see this. We have to see this, and we have to, pray for mercy, right? That's a precept. Here, Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 7. See thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth and warn them for me. So that's what we are. So that's what we are doing. We are warning. Um, we are warning. Our people, um, the nation of Israel, that the draconian laws is only going to get severe, right? And it's going to lead to martial law ultimately. Um, and that's what it's heading to. and we're warning our people to wake up, turn back to their power, turn back to Yahweh Shah, and follow their true heritage, and they're refusing and repent, and they're refusing, they're not obeying the words of Yahweh Shah, right? So I have here one um, one of the things that passed in Florida, permitless carry law, which started, which in effect went in effect on July 1st, 2023, which it authorized a person to carry a concealed weapon or firearm pursuant to a valid concealed weapons license or without a concealed weapon license, provided that the criteria for attaining a license is met. So ultimately, it allows, anyone, no one would have to get a permit to carry a firearm openly, right? So it will allow people, it will allow you to carry a firearm without having a permit, basically. And you can see here in the article, a lot of people don't like it because of the recent shootings, and the recent guns that have happened in that state. There's been a lot of shootings in Florida, right? And people are saying them passing this law is only going to make they're going to only increase the shootings, right? They're gonna make they're gonna be more shootings in Florida if they pass this law, right? So it just shows how these it just shows how they're doing this. They have a there's a reason why they're doing this. Ultimately, they're doing this because they want to first they want to crack down. They want to take away our our right to carry a weapon, right? And they know, and ultimately they want to. Ultimately, this is I was going back to when martial law do get declared, and people it's going people, ultimately people are going to protect their homes, right, from, I'm trying to word this. Ultimately, so I can bear with me. Basically, people, when they bear with, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. Bear with me. Um, as a permitless laws, just gonna make just gonna increase more shootings, and and it's a agenda behind why they're doing this. You know, it's an agenda behind why they are passing this law. You know, it's not to benefit people, but to increase to further their agenda, whatever agenda they have. Right. I have here Isaiah chapter 10 verse 1. It reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree, and that right grievance which they have prescribed." So woe unto them, right? When we go to that word, woe. which means alas, right? Alas. Woe unto them. So, woe unto them that decrees, decrees. So, statue. So, when we go to our statue, law. So, they're going to pass this law, right? A original law passed by legislative body. So, decrees, unrighteous laws. Woe unto them that, uh, woe unto them that decree unrighteous laws. So, woe unto them that going to, let me get this one. In that. So, there it goes. In that. So, to them that enact unrighteous laws. So make it, and that means to make a bill or other proposal, a law. So make a law. So woe unto them that enact unrighteous laws, and that right grievance, right? Grievance, grievance, trouble, mischief. That going back to Draconian, right? Harm, got harm, damage. So which they have prescribed, right? So one of them that enact unrighteous laws and that right grievance. So you know harmful, which they have prescribed. So they're which they have basically what laws they have passed, right? The unrighteous laws they have passed, right? There you go. In the NIV, what to those who make unjust laws, to those who issue oppressive decrees. There you go. CSB, what to those enacting crooked statutes, laws, and writing oppressive laws, right? Because you're going back to draconian laws, right? So here I have another article. Michigan House passed bill to make hurting someone feeling a hate crime, and this will pass on July 1st, 2023. So these devils, passing bill that make Michigan that make hurting someone fell into a hate crime. Preferably, this is supposed to be protecting the happy community, right? Here you go. I'm gonna read. I ain't gonna read all of it, but I'm gonna read some. The proposed legislation states that if an individual maliciously and intentionally intimidates another individual based on any characteristic below, they will be guilty of felony hate crime. So it can include all the following: race or color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression. So these are the big ones: sexual orientation and gender identity or expression. And that is coming at, the prophets and teachers of YAHAWASHI that teach against, you know, the happy community, right? We teach against the happy community and you know, we hate the happy community, right? And they call it a hate crime, right? So it just shows how um, it just shows their what agenda they are pushing and how it shows what agenda they're pushing, who they're protecting, right? Because is not this law is not meant to protect the protect the followers of YAHAWASHI, even though included religion in here, but they're not talking about the Christian religion ultimately. Because the Christian religion they allow you know people LGBTQ to enter in their churches, right, and to preach, right, but you know the Hebrew Israelites, right, that go against our beliefs, right, and our practices, right. Psalm 64. Psalm 64 and 1 reads, prayer for deliverance from the secret enemies. Psalm 64, chapter 64, verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. And who's the enemy, right? The enemy is the so-called white man, Esau Edom, and his whole government system. Second verse. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And that secret council go be, the Illuminati, you know, the billions, the $1 billion, people that runs this, corporation, which is America, that, tell the, that the upper echelon that tell, the presidents, the governments what to do, you know, and that pass these laws ultimately. Who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bow to shoot their arrows, even bitter word, which ultimately talks about their propaganda, but it also goes back to their agendas and their laws that they push, right, at the which goes back here for verse that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, right. The perfect is going back to the Israelites, right. The ultimately which is going back to the elect, right. They push the laws, right. The Draconian laws, right, in order to make the elect fall, right, take down the elect, right. This is why they push. Um, this is why they push those laws, right, to make the elect fall, right, and to to see the elect suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not, right. So they pass these laws, and they have a they they do not care. They do not care or who or what get affected by their laws, right. They pass these laws, and they don't care. They fear not. The fifth verse, they encourage themselves in an even matter. They commune alliance snares prevailing. They say, who shall see them, right. So they have these secret meetings behind closed doors, and they laugh. They say to themselves how what we're going to do next to take down these people. What they gonna do next to cause someone to fall. What they gonna do next to piss off somebody, basically. You know, they say who shall see them. So they do this, and they say who gonna stop us, right? Who gonna come down here and stop us? Who gonna keep us from you know passing our laws, basically. Matthew 24. Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall rise false prophets false anointed and false prophets, and I shall I shew great signs and wonders, and so much that it very possibly that they shall deceive the very elect. Right. So that some people come in this truth, and they say that they're the anointed. They say that they know something, basically, and it always goes back to because those false anointed and those false prophets, ultimately they're in the spirit of Satan, right? So they are the part of that secret council, right? They are part of those people that want to you know ultimately deceive the elect, right? The whole goal is to deceive the elect, right? But the elect, you know, and the one believers, YAHAWASHI cannot be deceived ultimately. Right, and I have here another article, which I will put a link to these articles in the description box. But it's from Los Angeles Times, and it reads: Newsom signs bill intended to end discrimination against the happy people and sets crimes convictions. Right. So there's a California Governor Gavin Newsom speaks during news conference. So this measure, Senate Bill 144, will amend existing state law that allows judges to decide whether an adult convicted of having vaginal sexual intercourse with a minor should register as a sex offender in cases in which the minor is 14 years or older and the adult is not more than 10 years older than the minor. So, you know, so the intent, so for example, in which two people close in age, an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old dating in high school, for example, are in a sexual relationship, the 18-year-old can still be convicted of a sexual offense, but should not automatically be registered as a sex offender. A lifelong designation that is an impediment to finding employment, a place to live, and other necessity of life, when it says. What was the legal age of consenting? So this law basically allows like so bear with me. I gotta pull that article back up. Mm, So basically, this law allows, basically an 18-year-old can have sex with a 17-year-old, but they're not automatically registered as a sex offender, even though the legal age of consent is 18 years old. Which showing how, it's just showing how that they're slowly passing bills that will protect, basically make pedo legally, right? That will make being a pedo and being a predator, right, legal, right? This is just, how you say it. This is just like, something to bite on. Basically, this is just giving something to give the people, you know, like an introduction, basically. All right, then I have another article here. Um, Michigan um, passing a law that will make using the wrong pronouns, which again going back to protecting the happy community. Um, which again going back to protecting the happy community, but ultimately make using pronouns a felony, which is a big, because a felony, a felony can stop you from, getting a job, getting, you know, if you have a felony on your record, it can stop you from getting a job. It's not a misdemeanor; it's a felony, so that's huge, finable up to $10,000, right? So the fact that they passed this law making using the wrong pronouns a felony, finable up to $10,000 shows how this devil is really trying to, protect the happy community, right? Um, Going down to, I'm not gonna read all of this, but it said under the new bill, offenders are guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 5 years or by a fine of not more than $10,000. So intimidate means a willful course of conduct involving repeated repeated or continuing harassment of another individual that would cause a reasonable individual to feel terrorized, frightened, or threatened, that actually cause the victim to feel terrorized, frightened, or threatened. The bill reads. The bill the bill specifically addresses sexual orientation and gender identity or expression as protected classes. So basically, again, going back to they shooting their arrows at the prophet, right, at the elect, at the prophet, at the teacher, because ultimately you know, we 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 you know we talk we rebuke the happy community, right? You know we will rebuke the happy community as Yahweh told us to do. We rebuke the happy community, right? And and ultimately, as again, it's they trying to you know they trying to get the prophet and teacher off the street. They ultimately trying to take us off of every platform we can, where they can push their agenda, right? So this is what the devil do. He find ways to to take the word down, right? To to take the word down, right? Um, this is what he does, right? This is what he does. All right. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, now this is Micah chapter 2, verse 1 reads, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power of their hands. Right. So, they again they going back to their secret council. They have a secret council. They have this whole they meet with these people to pass these laws. Ultimately, that's going to affect the righteous, right? The righteous. They pass these laws to to further their agenda ultimately, because they don't want anyone coming against their agenda, right? That's the reason why they're passing these draconian laws, right? It's a definition of Michigan houses passed bills that could make using wrong pronouns a felony, and a felony is huge, right? If you get a felony on your record, like I mentioned, you can be basically it runs your whole life, right? Um, so felony is a crime typically one involving violence, right? And if you use the wrong pronouns, um, you're basically causing violence against that person, which doesn't make any sense at all. Because you can say because you can ultimately use the wrong pronoun on accident, or use the wrong pronouns on accident, right? And how is that going to be admissible in court? Because if you use the wrong pronoun, as people have different, people make mistakes. So uh, it just shows how this devil is really trying to come down. Is really coming down, having great wrath. Right, he's coming down having great wrath because his time is short. So uh, expect to see more stuff like this, and don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't you know just pray, pray, and warn the people. Right, pray and warn the people, because more of this is going to come. Like I said, ultimately, it's going to lead to martial law being declared, and this is what they're trying to get to. Right, they're trying to get to martial law, because when all hell break loose, because famine of the bread, famine of food. World War III, the Michael C have been implemented. It's gonna lead to martial law being declared, because these people are not going. These people, even like I said in my previous videos, the people who doesn't even know what's going on. They not gonna they gonna fight against this government. You have some people, you know, you have Edomites that that don't even agree what is that was pushing. So this is the book I was 20, and I'm going to end it here. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. So this is what this, here a prime example. Michigan House passed a bill to make hurting someone feeling a hate crime. So that's ultimately call calling evil good, right? Because hurting someone feeling a hate crime, you know, is basically saying, Um, and there's a lot of things up here, that this, um, you know, ultimately is, what I'm trying to get to is they're basically saying being a happy person is good. So that's what I'm trying to get to. Basically, you know, their 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 bills are not supposed to affect. Basically they're trying to protect the happy community, right? That's their goal. Their goal is protecting the happy community, right? For what I don't know, but their whole agenda is just protecting the happy community, right? So they're woe unto them, right? Woe unto them that call that that call it evil good and good evil, right? They basically say you can be they say you can be a happy person. We're gonna pass these laws to protect you. This is what they do, right? We got right, alas, right. So this is what this devil does, right? I think I'm gonna end it here. Um, so again, my thoughts on the draconian laws being passed. I hope this was edifying. This was an edifying lesson. All right, I'll give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, BAHSHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHSHAM, QADASH. Until next time, I'll say shalom.